Is the Flow Hive 2 Plus a beekeeper's dream, or just a very pretty way to avoid buying an extractor? Welcome to rudeinsect.com.
And I'll say right up front, it does work. The honey really does drain out through those tubes into jars. And you don't have to haul a full super into the kitchen and turn the counters into a sticky disaster zone.
That's the part everyone wants to hear. But the review we're talking about wasn't from somebody who opened the box last weekend. This was 2 full honey seasons, same yard, beside a regular 10-frame Langstroth hive.
Same forage, same weather, same beekeeper errors, which is honestly the fairest comparison. The yard had clover, garden plants, maples early on, black locust if the weather cooperated, tulip poplar nearby, and goldenrod later in the season. So, real backyard beekeeping, not a staged commercial apiary.
And the numbers were interesting. Year 1, the Flow Hive colony gave about 21 pounds of harvestable honey from the Flow Super. Year 2, after it overwintered well and built up faster, it produced around 38 pounds.
The plain Langstroth still beat it both years, though not by some embarrassing amount. More like enough that when you're stacking jars in the pantry, you notice which hive paid the rent.
Now, I know somebody's listening and thinking, fine, but if I can turn a key and get honey, why wouldn't I buy the Flow Hive? Fiona, where's the catch?
The catch is that it's not a shortcut around beekeeping. It's a different way to harvest honey, not a different way to keep bees. You still have to inspect brood, check whether the colony is queen right, manage varroa mites, watch for swarm signs, feed when conditions call for it, and lift boxes when needed.
So it's not a bee vending machine.
Sadly, no, and I know you wanted one.
I did. I wanted to put in clover and get out toast.
That's not how bees negotiate. And beginners especially need to hear this. If you don't know what healthy brood looks like, or what a queenless colony starts to sound and behave like, a fancy honey super won't save you.
The assembly piece surprised me too. The kit is nice cedar, clean machining, clever design, but it's still a real hive you're putting together.
Right. It took about 4 hours total, including reading the manual, sorting hardware, and redoing one corner because the alignment was annoying. A very handy person might finish faster, but it's not slap-it-together furniture. Square matters. Gaps matter. Bees will turn your sloppy joints into a propolis punishment.
I've been punished by propolis before. It's like the bees are caulking and judging you at the same time.
They are, and in a humid 4-season climate, you also need to protect the wood. Tung oil looked beautiful the first year, but by the second fall, it looked like outdoor wood. Exterior paint might be less romantic, but it's more forgiving.
Let's talk harvest day, because that's where the Flow Hive really shines. Instead of pulling frames, uncapping wax, renting or buying an extractor, straining honey, and cleaning every bucket you own, you insert the flow key, turn it, and the frame opens internally.
Honey drains down through tubes into jars. The first harvest was slow at first. Then it became this steady amber ribbon. Bees were walking around the outside, mildly insulted, but not panicking. No big robbing frenzy, no open frames, no extractor cleanup.
That sounds almost too satisfying.
It is satisfying. But here's where I'll be the boring adult. You still have to know when the honey is ready. If you drain uncured nectar because you saw liquid in the frame, the moisture may be too high, and fermented honey is not the charming farmhouse experience people imagine.
So you're still checking capping, still thinking like a beekeeper.
Exactly. The flow frames make harvesting cleaner and easier, especially for someone with limited space or no extractor access. But they don't remove the need for inspections or judgment.
If a new beekeeper asked you, Flow Hive 2 Plus or basic Langstroth, what would you say?
If they want to keep bees and they're excited by the flow harvesting system, and they'll do the mite checks and brood inspections, then sure, the flow hive can be a lovely setup. But if they want the lowest startup cost and the most flexible learning path, I'd buy a Man Lake 10-frame Langstroth first.
And spend the savings on the boring stuff?
The useful stuff. A good veil, mite testing kit, extra frames, maybe feed equipment. Those things matter more than a glamorous harvest window when your colony is struggling.
I'll push back a little. For some people, that easy honey harvest might be what keeps them engaged.
Fair. If it gets someone committed to caring for bees properly, I'm not against it. I'm against the idea that it replaces learning. The Flo Hive 2 Plus is clever. It's not magic.
That's the whole review in one sentence. It works, it's fun, it's expensive, and it still expects you to be a beekeeper.
Thank you for listening to this edition of RootInsect.com, Conversations with Grant and Fiona.